But with a sugar palm, this is a very, very exciting tree. This is the champion of photosynthesis. You don't need to harvest any organs. All that you do is on a daily basis collect the water and the sugar. And the sugar is the result of carbon dioxide being combined with water and a little bit of sunlight, so that this temporary solar radiation is transferred into a stable chemical form of energy that you can bring into any place in the world. And without harvesting organs, without removing nutrients, because you tap the trees twice a day. And this creates 20 times more jobs and still produces a huge amount of energy in the order of 82 barrels of oil per hectare per year, which is huge. And the great thing is, this cannot be mechanized, because you need to know more than 60 different things in order to tap this tree. So I compared the output per tree from people that had been tapping for 10 years and 20 years. Even after that 20 years, they produce a lot more per tree than the people that have been tapping for 10 years. So this is something where we can help the local communities find jobs. And at the same time, while they need all this extra labor, which is inefficient in the modern agriculture, we still, because of that huge production, can have a feasible economical system. So this is a sugar palm forest. It's a mixed forest that produces more than 20 tons of sugar, which is already now more than the highest sugar production ever achieved with sugarcane in the world, in Cali, in Colombia, which is 18 tons of sugar. But that's only in the short time span. This is a mixed forest with more than 50 different other crops in it that can provide a permanent income. If you go for the oil palm, you are creating biological deserts. But with a sugar palm forest, you are creating a forest that can make optimal use of the light, can regulate the climate, can store carbon dioxide, can create security. Biodiversity means a greater stability of your ecosystem. And these sugar palms, with their very deep roots, you can plant them on the steepest of soil, so you don't conflict with agriculture. There's no food for energy conflict. Actually, because of those sugar palms growing on the steep slopes, you're improving the agriculture downstream. There's less flooding and there is more water flowing in the dry season. And the sugar palms produce 60 other kinds of products, including the sugary juice and then the fruits, the starch and the honey. All of these are food products. So you actually create food security while securing a sustainable source of biofuel. On top of that, I did a research, and there were 892 people in our village that we interviewed the rest of the family and analyzed those people that had used palm sugar and those people that had used white sugar. Turns out that the people that use palm sugar live 10 years longer. So this is truly a tree of life, which reduces the occurrence of diabetes and heart and coronary diseases. In China, you have at the moment 100 million diabetes sufferers. And with the increasing improvement in the economy, this number is going to increase further. So this tree can do a lot by producing a healthy product that can help not only the environment, but can also help the local people. And that we have tried to develop by setting up social systems, by cooperatives, in which a leader cannot be elected for 2 periods. It cannot be his son or daughter taking over the leadership, which has to have transparent auditing principles. We set up that system based upon a permanent harvesting system for the sugar palms in Indonesia, in North Sulawesi. And the system is very good and can be transferred to other places, but not in the way oil palms are done. And that is the main reason why nobody actually ever did it. Because where do you find the sugar palms? Only in mixed shrub forest. Where do you find shrub forest? That is the forest that results from slash and burn agriculture. It is owned by local people. And the big companies like to have total control over large areas, or they want to have a concession in a virgin rainforest. Well, the sugar palm doesn't grow in a virgin rainforest. It dies after 72 leaves. So it can never reach the upper canopy, never reach the light, never flower. So it can only grow where the local people are. So you have to work with them, and you have to make more complicated systems. If you plant them in the open, like here in the monoculture, they don't grow. Plant them at different distances from the forest edge, the closer to the trees, where all these microorganisms of the trees can help the sugar palms as well. Only then they will grow well. So a biodiverse forest is much more resilient. It doesn't burn that quickly. It provides more sources of income, and it has a much higher productivity because all the light is captured. Underneath in a forest, it's dark, it's cool, because all that sunlight has been caught. It stores all the carbon dioxide in the biomass and provides so many different products, creates more jobs and preserves the soil fertility, and it's really nature's way. So if we want to do what nature does, we also need to think, how can we create systems to do the planting of the sugar palms in a way that we create these multi-layered biodiverse systems and that still provide income for the people. And you can design such systems that from the first planting you do in these grasslands, that you can restore systems in combination, like the sugar palms, there's teak trees, there's bananas, there's rubber trees, there's pineapple. So in every stage of the reforestation, there's something useful coming out, and you recreate a forest in this way. So you can monitor this quite easily, and you can do it on larger areas. Let's have a look a little bit more on the global scale. These sugar palms can grow up to 2,000 meter altitude on virtually any kind of soil type, as long as there's 750 millimeters of rain. And even here in Hong Kong, you can grow them. So the Kadoorie farm will be planting 20 hectares of sugar palms, which will be enough to provide for all their energy needs, the electricity and the heating and their transportation fuel. That potential could fuel the world. And the sugar palm is truly a champion of photosynthesis, but the juice ferments instantly the moment it comes out of the tree. So the only way to preserve it has been to boil the juice, and then you need 1.3 kilograms of wood in order to boil 1 liter of juice. In the end, the whole environment is destroyed because you need all that biomass. So this is a tool, a mini factory that I invented, and it's called the Village Hub, basically working the way that nature works. And I set up this first factory with those 6,000 farmers you saw before, and I tried to miniaturize it. In the process, we try to use everything that is output from one process becoming the input of the next one. So what we do is the sugary juice, we put it in the factory, in the forest, in the village, close to the trees, and then we process the juice right there into 2 streams. One stream goes to a fermenter. We make beer, wine out of it, and we distill it, and that ethanol runs a generator, produces electricity for the factory and for the local people, but the heat is used to run the distillation. At the same time, the fermenter, the CO2, goes through a fish pond. This animation doesn't run, sorry, it's an Apple system. And no, I should have done it in another one. So the basic thing is the factory works like nature does. Nature doesn't know the concept of waste, so it's an integrated unit that you can bring to any place, and that brings a lot of products to the local people. You put in the juice, and you put in some yeast, and you have some people guarding it. And for the local people, a range of benefits comes out of it. Drinking water, fuel, electricity, they get internet connection for communication, banking services, they get cattle feed out of the yeast. There's no waste, and still investors can get a very good income from the surplus flow of energy in the form of sugar. So nature has worked long and in very diverse ways to come up with real solutions. We humans tend to think, okay, here's algae, okay, here's biofuel from oil palm. We tend to think that a single aspect can solve all the problems, but it's not. And I think we should really go back to see what the local people know and orangutans that we can use and that we can benefit from. We have to realize fossil sunlight is running out. We have to go to today's capture of sunshine energy in order to make this planet livable. So technology is important, yes, all these wonderful inventions, but we need to apply this technology in an integrated way that is both ecologically sound and socially acceptable. So I think we still have time to make a change for this world. Thank you.